Greek history is embedded in our modern world, from movies trying to reshape its mythology to statues that decorate our museums and gardens alike. Grecian artistry has spread across a wide variety of fields, dealing with statues that glorified the world, pottery painted with the imaginative visions of myths, or even architectural masterpieces that are still widely admired now. Each has left a distinct mark on the world. The sculptures used not only to carve a person into stone, but to show their beauty, their pain, their life. It was a revolution to move from rigidity to relaxed poses, shown by Kritos Boy, a revelation even amongst Greek artists, whose statues were very mechanical and inflexible until that point. They took pottery and made it into an art form, whether it was shape, decorations, or form. Greek pottery has become something singular and unique amongst other vases and bowls of the time. Now, of the large and colorful paintings decorating their walls, not even one exists today. Only the paintings on their vases remain. Greek art is a legacy, and many female Greek artists now follow up with their own art and interpretations that incorporate their culture while still reaching towards the modern world. Born in 1821 and passing away in 1900, Eleni Boukoura was the first major female Greek artist following Greece's independence. Her surviving works are all oil paintings. Boukoura was apprenticed by Raffaello Ceccoli after her father witnessed the beginnings of artistic talent in her younger years. He wrote a letter of recommendation for her for a school in Italy, as she wouldn't even brush fame in Greece due to the sexism that still ran rampant at the time. In 1848, however, much of Italy did not believe female art students should be allowed to study the naked body, so Boukoura dressed as a man to join in classes. In Rome and Naples, she studied and improved her art, soon meeting artist Francesco Saverio-Altamura, who would become her husband in 1852. The couple ended up splitting in 1857 when Altamura left her and took the youngest of their 3 children. Boukoura returned to Greece following the separation. There, she taught many young women the art of painting. Unfortunately, her life suddenly took turns for the worst when her daughter and son passed away from tuberculosis in quick succession. She became unstable and, in a mental breakdown, burned many of her artworks. The biography of her life, titled Eleni or Nobody, was written by Rhea Galanki in 2002. Despair, painted by Eleni Boukoura-Altamura in 1852, depicts a young woman hunched over, staring at the viewer. It uses principles such as contrast, color, movement, balance, and harmony to create a truly beautiful artwork. Look at the way the light hits her face and clothing, the intensity of the dirt and her face compared to the dullness of her robes, the line formed by her body broken up by the movement of her clothing in the wind. See how the visual weight of her limbs and face is offset by the weight of her scarf, and the repetition of orange hues and blue hues makes the whole artwork come together harmoniously. The way the clothing is used is similar to the way it is often used in Grecian sculpture, to convey modesty and to highlight the form. The stark, clear lines of the body are also reminiscent of the cleanness of traditional Greek paintings. Her self-portrait, an oil painting, is less clean but no less jaw-dropping. The subject of this artwork is Boukoura herself as she paints. Once again, with a color palette, value breadth, and variety of textures, contrast and space are created. The warm colors of the face and easel contrast with the cool colors of the robe and background, creating lighting. The same occurs with value, highlighting the face, hand, and palette, drawing the viewer's eye to the person. While the majority of the painting appears rough, all of the parts of the body nearing the easel are in sharp, smooth clarity, showing the focus of the painting. The flat background creates shallow space, further placing the focus on the artist as she paints. This is similar to many other Greek artworks in the romanticization of simple concepts. The painting of Eleni Boukoura-Altamura painting herself as Christmas painting Jane Benham Hay is an oil painting, though there is discourse over whether Boukoura painted it at all. The painting features a man, Boukoura disguised as Christmas, painting a woman, painter Jane Benham-Hay, for whom Boukoura's husband left her. This painting uses a color palette and value breadth to create contrast, unity, and space. The brightness in Chryss's cheeks and the blue of Hay's dress stand out, contrasting from the otherwise neutral color palette. The values highlight the faces, allowing the rest to fade into the background. The flat background creates shallow space, further placing the focus on the people within the painting. The primarily neutral colors used in the artwork ensure all the elements of the artwork, different as they are, come together, unified. The stark, clear lines of the body are also reminiscent of the cleanness of traditional Greek paintings. Vaso Katraki was born on July 5, 1914, and died in 1988. She is an acclaimed engraver and painter. Katraki received her first prize in the Mediterranean Biennale in Alexandria and a prize from the International Biennale of Engraving in Lugano, carving her place into art history. She was a student at the Athens School of Fine Arts from 1936 to study painting and engraving. In 1955, she earned international recognition in her field with the creation of a technique to engrave sandstone. Katraki first engraved a stone with a mirrored image of her final design, then used black ink to print the design on the paper, though she began with woodcuts and book illustrations. She exhibited her artwork all over the world before a museum created in her name was built in Etoyiko, with a permanent collection of Vaso Katraki works as of 2006. In Mermaid 2, a stone engraving on paper made in 1974, the simple, stark lines of the drawing are reminiscent of classic Grecian pottery. It is simplistic, using line, shape, contrast, and other principles to create a cohesive artwork. The lines and shapes create a clear image to contrast with the whimsical nature of the artwork. The colors also contrast very distinctly. Chryssa Vardea-Mavromichali was born in Greece in 1933 and died in 2013. She moved to New York in the 1950s. Her art was illuminating, literally. Inspired by the buzzing neon signs in Times Square, Chryssa drew a new line for the flexibility of art. Her work coincided with the minimalist, pop, and light art movements, sometimes even being among these movements as pioneers. It is very different from the two artists previously discussed, using letter forms and lines as essential parts of her composition over things like engraving and painting. She's best known for her sculptures, which involve lit-up lines that take the shape of letter forms and other symbols. Unique artistry lit a way forward for the development and popularization of distinct ideas that dealt with how abstract ideas could also make a strong impact on the world. In USA, preparatory work for a neon box, a light sculpture made in 1962, contrast, line, and repetition are used. Contrast and repetition of the main art in the glass are similar to the geometric pottery in ancient Greece. The contrast of the colors is clear. The lines are a common theme in Vardea's works with type forms, and the repetition is shown with the glass reflections surrounding the neon lights. These come together to display the letters USA clearly, while still appearing minimalistic, using light art as her medium. The Greeks considered the human body beautiful, perfectly balanced, and harmonious. While the subjects of contemporary Greek artists may have changed, their devotion to aesthetic beauty clearly hasn't. The lives and art of these artists speak to their passion and will, from Boukoura's devotion to studying art to Vardea-Mavromichali's role in the popularization of 4 movements. There are 3 primary features that are too consistent to disregard: the use of life as a romanticized subject, the ability to take cues from other countries and types of art and make it something entirely separate from what we expect, and the core simplified beauty that is not overthought, only stated as a fact. Greek art is a legacy, and it is clear that female Greek artists now have taken that torch only to hold it higher.